Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's okay, safe and sound. I'm just going to do a gasket overhaul and check the jets. This is the carb that's going to go onto the GP engine. I've got loads and loads of silly bits here, and I'll just show you what gaskets you need. I've just realised that the little one for the top is not there, so I'm going to have to find that. Anyway, without ado, we'll start stripping it down. In here you've got your fuel filter. I've always thought these on the Jetex are very small. When you look at the Delauto version, probably the same, isn't it? It's narrow, it's just rounded, it's just, again, it's aesthetics, isn't it? Put my teeth in. And we'll just take this off. And the gauze is okay there. And that's a rubber gasket in there. They do supply replacement gaskets which are cork. So with a view to the, that's as clear as a bell in there. Really nice and clean, and the filter is clean. It's only dirty where I've touched it, but all the gauze is clean, so that can go back on. I will be changing that gasket to the cork one or the paper one because of the new fuel we're going to be suffering with. Last thing I want here is, you know, it pouring out from there, so we'll stick that back in. It doesn't need over tightening, by the way, just tight it as you can and just a bit more. These are very, very soft aluminium. The worst thing you want to do is strip a thread, especially on your choke. So this is the float bowl, and we just need to check if we've got a red float needle in it, and judging by how clean the filter was, I would say the jets would be clean as well. It's one I've had hanging around for a while. I've got 5 or 6 of them in different states of repair. So we just need to knock out that pin through there. Get a pair of pliers on that long nose and just pull out the pin, that pin there. Take it bit by bit. There we go. And our float, yes, we've got a red. What you're looking for, the tip of that, you can see that. Let's get a light because I'm working against the light again here. So that goes up and down and stops your fuel when the bike is full. Main jet's too big, it's a 120, so I need a 118. This is a 200 carb, so we need our pin and our float, which is in my hand. That goes into a cutout. Sorry, I'll take the pin out of my mouth. The float goes up and down, it moves that pin up and down, and it seals in a jet there. On some of that one's been done. On some of the earlier ones, this hole wasn't big enough, and you got fuel. I realise you can't see what I'm talking about here. This hole here is not big enough, and you suffered with fuel starvation. So you'd be belting down the road and you get a seizure, etc., because that hole wasn't big enough. So you just put a slightly bigger, I think it's a 4 or 3.5, I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd need to go and check on the manual. But you've got another hole there on the corner, and that's where the overflow comes out. So if you've got petrol coming out of here, you've got either a stuck needle That's what they call the needle there. If that's stuck or the float's flooded, I mean, this has come out of a running bike, so I'm assuming that everything would be hunky-dory anyway. So we put that back in like so. And get our pin and put our pin back in again. Again, on the Italian ones, you've got like a star part, which you can quite clearly see which is the part you're pushing in and the part you're pulling. So, and again, you want that pin home. So I just use a screwdriver and push it in, and then just check that the float blow into there and push up on there, and that's sealing. So if I open it, you should hear some air. I don't know if that will pick that up. Right, that's working anyway. So all we need now is to change our 120 main jet to I'm going to check the atomizer as well. It should be a 200 one. Original JetX. Well, .589.212. So that atomizer part is a 200, and we can stick that back in again. Most of the starter jets, choke jet, pilot jet, pretty standard 50 and 45 across the range. So I just need I think that's an 8. Of course I would put it the wrong way round, wouldn't I? It's sod's law. Right, there's our 120 I should say, and we need a 118 for the jetting what I'm doing for this carburettor. I suppose I might as well make sure they come out. Yeah. Yeah. So our choke jet. Again, all the holes are clear. Yep. Get a bit of wire wool and just clean it up. There we go. Right, I found a brand new 118. I'm going to stick that in the bottom, in the jet. And again, you don't need to tighten them up like you're never going to remove it again. Just using a Lambretta screwdriver, and that's it. Finger tight is plenty. 118. Del Auto, unfortunately, in a Spaco, but whatever. We all got our crosses to bear, I suppose. Right, so that's got the wrong choke in at the moment. I'm putting a new choke in, and again, unfortunately, this is all Del Auto, but they do fit. And I do that up tighter than a tight thing. When you're setting the choke up, when you've put it on the bike, when you put the choke up, this hole becomes clear. So if you look down there with a torch, etc., you should be able to see all the way inside there. And then when you let go, you should see the brass plunger come down. I can actually see the brass plunger in there. I'll see if I can get a light in there for you to see from behind or above. Yeah, I can see it in the camera. Right. Right, what most people do is they change the bottom gasket, but they don't change the top one. There's a gasket in here as well as here, so we'll just take out this bottom gasket, which is looks like it's been on since evermore and a day. Just use a knife just to peel it off. It's become part of the bottom of the carburettor, but I'll just peel it off anyway. Shouldn't take too long to do that. Yeah, I'm under it now. Well, that's our old one. Just get a bit of wire wool and just clean up where the old one was. Or a screwdriver, go along it, but be careful you don't scratch. Screwdrivers work fine there. Take your new gasket and stick it on and in, and then the float bowl back on. That's clean as a whistle, isn't it? That's pretty good, that one. Where the cutout is where your jets are. It's supposed to stop it frothing. And then you've got your 2 screws in your Spaco. They go in the bottom, and in a Delauto they come from the top. I suppose it's little things like that how they get over copyright, isn't it? We've got 2 to do in the top now to take off the mechanism on the top. So we'll undo these 2 screws. Sometimes they've got holders on them so they don't fall out, and sometimes they, like here, they haven't. Again, I don't think this carburettor's ever been apart. All the screws are in good condition, and there's that slide. A little bit of wear, but nothing to worry about. And aha, we've got a missing gasket there. That gasket is the one that goes in there. So just take the slide out and put that gasket in. Don't know if I should have soaked that first, but it's gone in anyway. It's a tad big, but it has gone in. And then we put our spring back on and our slide. Slide on first, and then our spring. And they're held in with them 2 cutouts, one there, one there. That can go back in again. Again, that's clean inside there. To say it was off a running bike, so. And of course the holes don't line up now, but it is only paper we're punching through, so should be able to get past the paper. Here we go. And I won't do that one up yet until I've got the bottom one in. What you can get is you can get air sucking from the top, especially with Indian stuff where it's not made to the same tolerance as European and Japanese, etc. If they ever catch themselves on, there'll be no stopping them, because they've got the ability. I just think that, you know, there's something missing in the psyche. So that's our carburettor bar, just giving it a wipe down, etc. That's the carburettor overhauled. I'm quite happy with the I'm just going to tighten that up so it doesn't disappear. That's it. And that goes on to obviously the inlet manifold on the engine. That's now jetted and set up, I think, correctly for the engine that I'm building. So watch this space, as they say. That's another job out of the way. Like I say, all I've got to do is wash it on the outside, clean it up. Luckily enough for me, it's not been hammered on. All of the thread are good. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. That'll do a job. That'll do a job superbly. Right, I'll wind this one up here. Thank you for watching. That's another video, and hopefully somebody's learnt something, and even if it's me, you never know your luck, do you? If you're learning, then you're learning. That's the main thing. I can put all them bits back in my carburettor box. What I was going to say before we go as well, which would be shown on the video when we come to start the engine, is with these carburetors, you start with the mixture screw 1.5 turns out. You turn this 1.5 turns out, so screw it all the way in. In fact, it was about that. That's about as tight as I'd want to screw it. Half, 1, 1.5. Cheers, bye.